Don't make me squat a lot like last time.
Nah, we're gonna
No,
practice
hold
these
it, hold
isometrics
it, hold
right
it.
there.
No,
Hold that.
hold it,
Hold
hold
that.
it.
Oh,
Neutral
my
spot.
Make
Get
sure
your
this
chest
goes
up.
on the
Get
video.
your chest up.
Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2. Get him.
My life.
Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, we are back again.
Round two.
Round 2, ready to rock and roll, keeping this train going. At Strength We Trust. You know what I mean? Building out this community one person at a time, one rep at a time, one daily choice at a time. And yeah,
Don't
man.
forget to introduce yourself.
Oh man, I feel forgetting sometimes. I'm like, I have to know.
I know it's because it's not about us.
It's not about
I gotta
us.
keep reminding him that people need to know who he is too.
Exactly. It's Mike here, Mike Sept, aka Mike Fit 19. You know, just a part.
Sean English, I'm here.
I was going to you. I was going to just say.
Don't forget about me.
I was going to just
But
say.
it's not about me.
Exactly.
It's Strength We Trust.
It's at Strength We Trust. I would say I am one half of At Strength We Trust.
Yep, I'm the other half.
And he's the other half here. And we're excited to keep this conversation rolling for you guys. Just taking a deeper dive into how to approach starting the fitness journey.
Yeah, man, we want you to go from, if you're starting from 0, we're going to teach you how to become a hero.
Exactly.
You know, getting off the couch and just getting moving. If you're already doing things, we want to help you be that much more efficient and intentional about what you're doing.
Absolutely. And it's like, and I love that because even if you're somebody who's advanced and has been training for years and decades, there's still going to be tools here that you can apply to what you're already doing just to take you to like that next level.
There's so much more research that has been done. There's so much more we understand that we didn't know before, that even if you've been working out for decades, I promise you that if you start doing a search and exploring different avenues, you'll be able to take your fitness to the next level. And it doesn't have to be like dramatically doing an overhaul on what you're doing, but just being more intentional about something that you might already be doing. You know, and we're going to talk about some of those things that you might be overlooking today.
Right. And so we're going to start with pretty much just ways to begin your fitness journey and different small tasks that you might kind of take for granted and not really pay attention to that can be that icing on the cake or that great accessory to what you're already doing in the gym or will start to be doing in the gym.
Right.
And we're going to start with NEAT, which is defined by?
NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So in layman's terms, that's just the calories that you're burning when you're just staying alive.
Right.
Just throughout the day, breathing, moving. Those are the calories you're burning just staying alive.
Yep. And like I said, those are the kind of things we take for granted. Walking to work, walking after work, fidgeting around, cooking, picking stuff after your kids, right? Just daily.
And why is it important? Because that's where you burn most of your calories.
Yep.
You're not burning most of your calories in the workout. It's not a thing. It's really not a thing. You burn most of your calories just moving throughout the day, like he said, fidgeting, just walking around. And that's a common misconception where, especially for the people trying to lose weight, I'm always picking on you guys because you guys are like working backwards. Like if you really want to lose weight, increase your step count.
Yep.
It's easy. It costs you nothing. No gym membership, no nothing. Maybe you got to buy a new pair of shoes, but that's about it.
Exactly. Like just adding steps to your daily. Imagine going from 100 steps because you're sitting at your desk all day. You work from home, or you take a cab, or you drive to work, or anything like that, and you just add like 1,000 steps.
And now we have a lot of like different equipment to make that easier. They
Exactly.
have the treadmill.
I have it.
You have one of those, right?
I have it. Yeah.
I've been tempted, but I'm still mobile. And I have a son that I'm chasing around. So I don't really need.
He gets a little bit more neat work in than I do currently.
Oh
right
yeah.
Now, which is cool.
My son he's full of energy. We took the flight back yesterday and he just did not stay still.
Right.
I mean, he's a champ. Like he's not crying or anything, but he just wants to be in other people's lap. He's screaming at people. He's like crawling up and down the seats. Like he's all over the place. He's a handful.
Right. So what we were talking about was this standing desk treadmill, which I got just recently because I had just recently moved back to Texas now from New York, and I work from home primarily, and I see a lot of my clients online, and I was finding right away that like I'm not moving, and in Texas, I'm driving everywhere. So I'm not walking anymore. There's no more New York City running to the
No
train.
more 15,
No
20,000
more.
step days.
No, and I was noticing right away. I was going from 15,000 down to like 3, 4, and I was like,
3,000.
and I was like,
Mike.
I was like,
Bro.
yo, 3,000. I saw it for a couple days in a row, and I was like, boy, if you don't get your butt outside and start
Oh
moving.
my God.
Yes, so I bought the standing desk.
That stressed me out.
It stressed me
That
out.
actually stressed me out.
What do you think? You stressed me out. So I went and got the standing desk, and they have this portable treadmill that comes right out of it. And it's great because it's not like you're trying to run on it or anything like that.
No. It's probably like what?
It goes up to 3.5 is the fastest.
The max, yeah.
We're talking about the max speed on this thing. And I can't do a full session at 3.5. I'll fall over. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
It's a little
What
hard.
speed do you normally keep it on?
2.5
Okay.
to 2.8.
Yeah.
That's like my.
How much time do you spend on it?
So I do a session on, a session off.
Okay.
So if I have some like 4 sessions in a row, right? I'll walk for a session, stand for a session, walk for a session, stand for a session.
Yeah.
And I've noticed just implementing that over the course of like 6 sessions. So I'm like walking for 3 hours pretty much.
Yeah.
I've gotten my steps back up to like 16, 17,000.
Nice.
And what I've noticed right away is how positively my body has responded.
Yeah.
Now, like
I'm
joints,
sure you feel leaner.
not even just a leaner thing, just less of the inflammation. And I'm not so tender, swollen, achy
Yeah.
throughout the course of a day.
Mhm.
Because, a lot of people, like if they're sitting for 8 hours, that first hour after they get up, everything hurts. Everything's achy.
Mhm.
Everything feels tight. Everything feels like, ow this, ow that.
Yeah, because movement is WD-40 for your joints.
Now you're speaking my
You know what I
language,
mean?
man.
So like
Yeah.
if you're not moving, things aren't circulating.
Not
so,
at all, man. Like if your body has no stimulus, right, to maintain synovial fluid throughout the course of your body, like it's not going to.
Yeah,
Your body, your body, like we talked about this before. Your body is smart and efficient,
and
and
very lazy.
very lazy.
Very lazy.
And if you're not going to give it the proper stimulus, it's going to sit there and say, "No problem.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop producing whatever you need because you're not giving me the stimulus that I need." And that just introducing that walk for those 3 hours a day completely changed everything. All of a sudden, like I was a little bit more spritey in my sessions,
Mhm.
right? Like I was a little bit more upright. I had a little bit more oomph in my voice in sessions.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden my blood's circulating a little bit better. Now all of a sudden I'm not so monotone in my voice throughout my session. So like I have clients even responding to this. They're like, "Did you have coffee this morning?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm just walking." And that's it. Just introducing that
Yeah, I've-
non-essential right movement. It was like boom.
I've worked with quite a few clients who work from home, and I tell them like, if you're taking calls, go walk around the block while you're taking calls.
Absolutely.
If it's something where you don't need to be on your laptop, if you can do it on your phone, walk around the block. You can't walk around the block, pace back and forth. Just get up.
Yep.
And because I'm such a go hard, I was even thinking about this for us. Instead of sitting down, we should start staying up during these podcasts.
Oh, I'm definitely with
But
it.
we're gonna figure out that setup.
We're gonna set this up so like because no offense, but there's a little height discrepancy. So I want to make sure that my friend here has
Yo,
the
chill
right
out, bro.
space. But
Chill out, bro. Yo, take it easy. Take it easy. It's funny because I remember my dad's like 6'4". And
Huge.
I thought I was gonna be tall.
Big man.
I never made it. I just never made it.
Yeah.
The doctor told me I was 5'11" and 3/4. Disrespectful.
He not giving you.
I
that
told
6 foot.
everybody that I'm 6 feet, but all my athletes friends are like, "You're not 6 feet."
Yep.
All y'all are haters, you included.
Oh, definitely.
You're
I'm definitely
a hater.
I mean, I'm 6'4" on a good day. I mean, I'm not, but I'm gonna tell everybody that though. I'm 6'4" on a good day. But yeah, just to tap in, man. Like we just want to give you guys small little things that you can add to the recipe to just make it taste that much better.
Yeah. And
know?
walking, so underrated.
So underrated.
So underrated.
So
It's
underrated.
so easy to do.
Absolutely.
And even if you can't get 10,000 steps, right? You could do 6,000, and that's realistic for you. Walk faster. You'll get more out of it. Or if you can't do that, you don't want to walk faster, get a backpack. Throw, 5, 10 pounds in that.
Walk up a hill. Find the biggest hill in your neighborhood. Walk up the hill.
You will feel that.
Right.
It's
Absolutely.
actually one of the standards they use in the military.
Yep.
If the soldiers are having trouble sleeping, they just send them to walk.
Yeah.
And when they're like abroad, like they have to walk with these heavy backpacks. It's part of their training. So implement that. Try it.
Absolutely. And like it's such an easy thing to add too. And I think people just take it for granted, right? Because they say, oh, I went to the gym 5 times this week and I burn 500 calories every time I went. I said, oh, so you burned 2,500 calories this entire week? How much calories did you eat this entire week? Boom, you drop the mic on them. Because all of a sudden, when they start actually doing the math and subtracting and adding everything like that, the workout calories are almost become very insignificant. Now, imagine if you were able to add another 2,500 calories just from walking.
Just walking.
Just walking. How significant of a change you would make in your body over time. And we can tap back into what we were saying before, and it's like holding yourself accountable by taking notes. And make that like a goal for yourself at the beginning of the week. I'm going to walk 10,000 steps every day, or I'm going to walk 1,000 today, but I'm going to walk 3,000 this day, 5,000 this day. Start setting goals, like small, minor goals that you know are achievable, and just like start to just chip away at it. And you'd be surprised at the positive impact it's going to have over that, let's say, macro extended period of time, the 3 months, the 6 months, and 9 months.
Yeah,
it'll be huge.
It's going to have a cumulative effect. If you're consistent with that. When I want to get leaner, like I'm not doing any aggressive cardio. I just start walking more. That's it. I'm not doing nothing crazy.
No,
My workouts stay more or less the same. I might like tighten up on I don't even like to call it cheat meals because I'm pretty good about what I eat. I don't have cravings I don't have a sweet tooth. That's just not because I'm into fitness. I just don't have a sweet tooth. So my diet is pretty tight, generally speaking.
I have a sweet tooth.
You do. You're a fat kid at heart.
I am
You're
really
a fat kid at heart. Like I remember,
Absolutely.
I couldn't believe it when we were roommates. I'm like, yo, how? Like, why?
Yeah, I eat like a fat man. I say this every single time. If I wasn't working out and living the active lifestyle I was,
You'd be fat.
I'd be a fat man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, to be honest with you, like we talk about this all the time. Find your why, everything like that. That's my why. I don't want to be fat man. So guess what I do? I take my butt to the gym.
Yeah.
I make sure I stay active.
Your spot is actually the spot.
Oh, you know it.
If you don't know what the spot is, it's a spot where you can get just desserts. All they serve is desserts.
That's
right?
it.
It's not my spot. I told you I don't have a sweet tooth, but the spot is all about desserts. Like, what does the menu look like?
They have like cookie camp
Fat
thing.
kid.
Fat kid.
Yeah,
I know
you're a
all.
fat kid,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know it. Right. So they got this thing called the cookie camp. It looks like it's in like a pan, like
Look
they're
how
frying
excited he
pancakes
gets.
in. I'm telling you. And then they got the cookie in there, and it looks like it's like a pancake, but it's like deep chocolate underneath. I'm telling you, man. Guys, I want you to know, I go through this too. You are not alone. I have cravings all the time. This is the journey that I'm still on at 35 years old. I'm still going through it. But
Struggle is real.
the struggle is real. But I have fun with it now because I'm like, this keeps me motivated, man. Like, I want to be able to enjoy my life. And so my butt is in the gym. My butt is walking. I'm making sure that I'm consistently staying active. I'm getting my sleep. I'm making sure that I'm brain dumping, like we talked before. Like, I'm making sure I'm hitting those steps because I have things I like to enjoy too. And I know I'm not the only one. There's so many people out here. We all have vices. We all have stuff that's maybe not the healthiest for us to do, but like we enjoy it.
Yeah.
And guess what? That's okay.
That is okay.
It's okay. Like, it's
Chasing
okay.
perfection is not the way to go.
Not at all. Not at all. Like, and we want everybody to know that. Like, him and I are not perfect. We're not checking every single box every single day.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. This last year, my son is 14 months. I don't know if I checked the sleep box once. Maybe a handful of times, but another thing, like, be kind to yourself. Like, focus on the things you can control. Sometimes work might be crazy. Sometimes you're, if you're expecting or you're a new parent, know that, sleep, you might not get a lot of it. So don't worry about that. Don't get as much as you can, but focus on the things you can control.
Exactly.
Double down on those things. If you can't get enough sleep, then make sure you're eating well. Make sure you're moving. Do as much as you can in those other areas so that, it will balance out a little bit.
Right. So I think that's a good basis to give people, right? So it's like you got your walking intact, you're eating appropriately or the best to your ability, right? Now you are, say, stepping into the gym first time, right? And it's like they're not going to touch any weights, right? But we want to stimulate them to move or put stress on their bodies. How would you go about attacking that with somebody?
a great tool, I think we've mentioned this before, is isometrics
Yep.
or static exercises. Plank, perfect example. Everyone knows what a plank is. Static or isometric exercise, you're just holding that position. No movement, you're just holding that position. And it gets pretty taxing. A lot of my clients' first time, I just want to make sure they can hold a plank for a minute. If you
Mhm.
can't hold a plank for a minute, make that your first goal.
Absolutely. And the reason behind that, it's not just to say I'm cool and I did a plank for a minute, right? It's creating that intra-abdominal stress, like that feedback to know how to lock everything in. I know how to squeeze this. I know how to brace this. It's just teaching you how to connect to your body because you're going to need that connection to do those bigger compound movements later
Yeah,
on.
if your core isn't working the right way, then you can't really do much. And a lot of people have dysfunctional breathing patterns, and they start breathing with accessory muscles rather than your diaphragm, which sits right at the bottom of your rib cage. When you're holding a plank, you have to know how to breathe, or you just won't make it.
Absolutely.
You just won't make it.
People will say my arms hurt, my lower back's killing me, my shoulders are burning, and I'm like, as soon as I start hearing that, I'm like, we're good. Stop. We're not going to muscle through this. We want to make sure we're recruiting from the appropriate place throughout the entirety of the minute.
And this is actually, if you listen to the last episode, then you heard me talk about breath work. Do some breath work, reset your body before you go into it, and I promise you'll feel different.
Absolutely. And that's what we want to do. We want to create proper connections that you can take with you because as programs start to progress, those basic fundamental steps need to come with you. You can't lose them as programs start to advance.
Otherwise, the injury's coming fast.
Absolutely, right? And I think taking the time to learn your body and how to feel it out under stress in space throughout movement is a huge component for the longevity of whatever program you're doing. If you don't have that foundation, and I always say this to a lot of my clients, is having spatial awareness and body awareness is probably one of the quickest things you'll notice when you start working out, right? They'll train for a couple of weeks or everything like that, and they'll be like, Mike, I was walking up the stairs and I was like using my butt. And I was like using my hamstring.
I get so excited when people feel their glutes.
That's the
my God.
That's the coolest thing.
Not in a creepy way, by the way.
Yeah,
I want to be very clear.
Let's not get crazy. We're not over here talking about, damn, you felt your glutes, girl. Like, nah, we're not doing that.
Guys and girls included. So let me be very clear. The reason why is because a lot of my clients sit on their butts all day.
Right.
When you sit on your butts all day or for extended periods of time, your glutes just kind of shut off. We talked about how lazy the body is, right?
Absolutely.
So your glutes shut down, and glutes are super important. Your glutes put your pelvis in place, and what attaches to your pelvis? Your lower back.
Your lower back.
So if your pelvis isn't in place, then your lower back is probably not doing it, not in a great position.
Nope.
All those muscles that cross those joints are probably gonna move in a really funky way. So when people are able to connect to your glutes, that's a very positive sign for me.
Absolutely.
When clients come back and be like, oh, my glutes were sore, I celebrate. I'm like,
absolutely.
yes.
It's huge. Like when they come back and they're like, oh, my hamstrings and my glutes were like really tight and sore after the last session, I'll be like, great. Fantastic. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
And like, so that's what I was saying. Like that spatial and body awareness, I go through this with literally every single client. When they start feeling things that they never felt before, that's like such a green light for me.
We're doing the right thing.
We're doing the right thing. Like we have you on the right track. You're taking the right steps. You're feeling what you're supposed to be feeling. All right, now let's go get to work now.
Yeah.
But
another isometric. Go ahead.
Go for it. No. I was just saying is like, it's just, it's exciting because now that they have like those basic tools in place, they don't take any movement for granted now.
Yep. And it also opens up a world of possibilities in terms of what movements they can do now.
Yep.
Right? Because now they know what they're supposed to be feeling. When you do an exercise, you should be able to feel the muscle that you're trying to work. If you can't feel that, you need to figure out what's going on. But another isometric I want to throw at you guys were just glute bridge.
Yep.
Isometric glute bridge.
Yep.
Just hold the top of that glute bridge, core brace, squeeze the hell out of your glutes. Make sure you can connect to your glutes.
Yep.
If you're feeling hamstrings, there's some dysfunction there. Your hamstrings are just picking up the slack because
your glutes are underperforming.
Your glutes are underperforming.
Yep.
Get to the point where your glutes are the main driver in that movement.
And I think so. Yes, we want them to squeeze their glutes, right? Like that's a big focus. But I think a lot of times when you tell people that, they tend to hyperextend their backs because
Yeah,
they're focused so
yeah.
much on squeezing their glutes that they end up throwing their pelvis out of place. And then they're wondering why, like they come down from the glute bridge and they're like, oh, my back hurt a little bit. So I think going back to that plank, right? That intra-abdominal pressure, that is such a big focus. So I think
That's exactly why we said why we started with the
with
plank.
the plank first, right?
Plank will help you understand what neutral looks like.
So I like to talk through this as a precursor to doing the isometric glute bridge. I think a lot of people can take with them, right? Is what I'll have you do is I'll have them lie down flat in their back, sit up like they are doing their glute bridge, take both of their hands and just subtly put it underneath their lower back, right? And just for about 10 reps or so, I want you to press your lower back into those hands. Feel that pressure against your fingertips, right?
Mhm.
And then run away from your fingertips. Press your fingertips. On that 10th rep, I want you to press as hard as you can into your fingertips. That right there, take that with you.
Mhm.
If you can maintain that tension that you have at your stomach in that glute bridge, you're putting yourself in the best position possible to actually get the recruitment from your glutes. And I think that
I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I've used that in a different way doing with dead bugs because
Right.
giving people feedback,
That,
putting
yeah.
something underneath their lower back so they could keep that pressure into whatever it was, whether it was a band or
You can use anything.
t-shirt. Yeah, anything.
Anything. Super band, a piece of a rope, a piece of clothing. If you're working out at home, your own hands. I tend to use because I train a lot of people at home,
Mhm.
so it's just a great tool to give people feedback. And again, once you're able to create that intra-abdominal pressure, glutes tend to fire. They connect.
It's just easier.
They're just easier. They don't work independently from one another. I say that to people all the time. If your glutes are firing, your abdominal wall is probably doing its job. If your abdominal wall is intact and is doing its job, your glutes are probably going to recruit the same way as well. So we just want to create that. That's why we said the plank first and the glute bridge are two great exercises to just, I guess, teach you how to recruit appropriately on both ends of the spectrum.
That's your homework.
There you go.
That's actually your homework.
That's a great.
Yeah.
I think that's a great tool. Like plank for 1 minute, recruiting appropriately. Glute bridge for 1 minute, of recruiting appropriately. We have to make sure we emphasize that because a lot of people are going to come back and say, I can plank for a minute, but I'm like, well, what did you feel while you were planking for a minute?
Yeah.
And I can glute bridge for a minute, but what did you feel? Did your quad start burning?
Yeah.
Did your hamstring start cooking? Did your calves even? Did your shoulder? Like, make sure you're getting the work from the appropriate place. And I think that's a really big focus that I want you guys to take with you when you're just getting on your fitness journey. Don't jump the gun. Make sure you're getting everything you want out of whatever work you're doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, that's
I think that's we don't want to give you too much.
right.
We don't want to overwhelm you, but start there. Leave your questions. Let us know how that goes.
Absolutely.
Another thing I wanted to share with you guys, just to understand like what a neutral position in your spine is. Just like he was mentioning before with your hands, what you can do is if you put your thumb at the bottom of your rib cage and your pinkies at the top of your pelvis, you want to think about closing that gap. When you close that gap, that's probably a neutral spine.
Absolutely.
Try that.
Yep.
See if you could do that. On your exhale, see if you could close that gap. And you should be able to feel your core brace when you do that.
I like to say you're pulling the zipper from both ends.
Right. That's another way of thinking about it.
Right? If I got a zipper on the bottom and I got a zipper on the top, I want the zipper to meet in the middle. If
There you
I
go.
can get that to occur, you're probably more than likely recruiting from the appropriate place.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there are going to be outliers, but
100%.
generally speaking, people should be able to feel that.
Yeah. And I think we should, that's a great place to leave it. Again, we want you guys to try that. Get back to us, give us feedback. If you have any questions along the lines of what we were just mentioning here, like reach out. We want to create this community, like we were saying. This isn't something that is just for us to tell you guys what to do and you guys try it and you're on your own. Like, no, we're here for you.
Yeah,
Right?
I want to get the feedback.
We
I
wanna
want to
get the
know. I want
feedback.
to hear the successes. I want to know
The failures even, like, let us know.
shortcomings.
Yeah.
We're not going to judge you. It's
No,
fine.
not at
We've
all.
We've all been there.
Come on, man. I'm the sweet tooth king. I got shortcomings happening all the time. So, we'll leave you guys like that. As always, subscribe to the YouTube channel at Strength We Trust. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're across the board. We're going to keep building this thing out brick by brick, person by person, pound by pound. Like, we're going to get this thing done, and we're excited for this journey. As always, it's Mike Fit. I'm going to make sure I mention myself this time.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I am a part of this team at Mike Fit 19. And my partner here, the other half of Strength We Trust.
Rashawn English, RISHAUN.English.
And again, we will get him on multiple platforms soon. Don't you
Wow.
guys worry.
Soon come.
Soon come. And yeah, man, at Strength We Trust. Let's get it.
Get after it.
Yes, sir. Sweat.
Sweat.